Carpet Institute of Australia runs what we call the ACCS program, which is the Australian Carpet Classification Scheme. And it's a venerable program. It's been in place for just under 50 years. We have certified and assessed just under 7,000 carpets, and it's objective assessment about appearance and durability. It's all based upon NATA laboratory reports. Every carpet is assessed by expert panels, so it's a very data-rich, document-rich environment that was going on. It is well recognized by architects and specifiers, as well as the retail groups in Australia. So it's here to stay. And so then I was looking at it, and one of the problems is that we were using a very old scheme, a 25-year-old software platform, and essentially we were falling behind in the expectations of our users. There's no question. One of the big issues we had, it was just so document rich. We have about 40,000 documents associated to our certification process. And so as to how you manage those documents and how people can engage with us was the things we were looking at. So we came to Web Intelligenz and asked them to help us solve some of these problems. So in terms of future proofing, it's always the case, isn't it, that everything works until it doesn't. And we found that the IP for our entire ACCS system was sitting in the minds of a couple of 2 or 3 or 4 people. And it certainly wasn't future-proofed. If they were to leave, we would lose a lot of IP. So it gave us a real problem. So we looked at the changes, and I wanted to create an environment where the users, and in our world, we call them licensees, and the Institute itself, had a document repository management system. It was very, very important that we manage documents for compliance and a governance point of view. The second area is that I wanted all of our manufacturers and importers to run simulations on their products before they'd submit to see what type of grading they would get before they came to us. And the simulation of products led to changes in the way they manufactured their products. So it became a very useful tool. And so we had that. So our 70 companies needed to apply better, needed to submit their documents better, needed to simulate their responses better, and needed to have a record of their achievements better. And so we came to Web Intelligenz and said, that's our problem. That's what we'd like you to kind of fix. So when we looked at it, what we've ended up with is a real-time online environment managing many thousands of products, managing many thousands of documents, certificates, and the best thing really is it's created a unique product identifier, which is, in the parlance of the National Construction Code and Australian Building Codes Board, is a digital product passport. So we've been able to serve our sector of the industry by providing that service. So really, when I look at what we've done, and my interest is certainly making my sector, which is the flooring sector and specific carpeting, more resilient and future-proofed from a grading and an environmental purpose, and we've done that. But I'm hoping that the other industry sectors will pick up on it as well, because it is about providing access to information, providing document management systems, providing simulation environments, and providing product identifiers or digital product passports.
So this is an overall diagram of the system. And as Andy was saying, the licensees are the people who have the products. They submit their products for testing to an independent testing agency, and then they make an application for the Australian Carpet Classification Scheme grading. That grading is, they provide data, and that grading information is provided to a panel who in the end provides the grading, and the system supports the actual panel process. So carpets that are submitted are blind submitted. In other words, the members of the panel can look at the information but don't know who the manufacturer or the name of the product is when they're making their grading assessment. Once that's been done, then the certificate information is provided back to the licensee for them to use in their product information. Similarly, the environmental classification scheme, as part of the carpet system, licensees make an application for that in the same way. It goes to the panel. Once it's graded, it is then provided back as a certificate back to the licensees. The carpet index is part of this system, which is an index that's been a printed index for many years, which is provided not so much to consumers but to members of the industry, so retailers and the licensees, with carpet names and information. The data from the ACCS is fed across to the carpet index, and that's provided out to people to access that information. And then the real innovation that's occurred in building the system is, as Andy said, the digital product passport, which is basically a consumer and specifying oriented information where a QR code is provided or an online access through the website is provided, where retailers, specifiers, consumers can access information about the products online, and it has comprehensive information about that come from the ACCS and ECS system. It also has the capability of licensees providing additional third-party information onto that system. So it's a single source of information about that particular product for retailers, specifiers, and other interested parties.
So what I'll do is walk through the system in a way a certified product would actually move through in the application process. So what I'll do first is when a licensee comes into the portal, so they'll have a dashboard similar to this, and then they'll have like the carpet applications and the users they manage and the companies they manage. So to give you a quick demonstration on that is I'll click on all carpets and then add a new carpet. So first thing about the carpet application is even if it's an online form, it just needs to guide the user through the application process rather than giving them all the fields. So one of the things we've done is create a wizard around that so that it takes them step by step. So it'll have a detailed record of the carpet. And then you'll just add in the company name, the grading that's requested, and then keep on filling in the information for that specific carpet. Parallel to this, Anata Lab runs the Hexapod bear test that is provided to the Carpet Institute against this application, so that's provided for the hexapods. Now here's the part that matters the most, that these inputs are in the platform that runs grading calculations automatically. It works through the intermediate scores, density, load, soiling, abrasion, and appearance factors, and produce a commercial and residential grade. You can see here. Initially, what happens is once the grades come in, we have a calculation that runs based on the specifications that's there, and then they create a calculated grading from the system. And then the application goes through a panel, and then the panel has a score and reviews that grading based on the calculations, and the panel can decide if it meets the grading standard or if it doesn't. Each of the gradings has an audit trail along the way. So even for the hexapods, you can see that the applicants can see it as well as the panel, even for the grading that was selected it has an audit trail that provides in-depth detail of each of the gradings that has been done. Once it comes into the panel, then the panel reviews the calculated result along with the evidence that's provided over here and the scores that it has awarded. The environment classification scheme works alongside the grading. It covers 7 product types. So let me bring that up. So we have carpets, resilience, underlay, adhesives, artificial turf, and acoustic panels. Each of these will have a similar wizard type application that allows the user to be guided throughout the application process. One of the most exciting parts of this product is the digital product passport, which I'll show you here. Once an application gets completed and the ACCS team allows and approves the digital passport for a product, the licensees will get a QR code that can be downloaded from the platform, and then they can use that in their marketing material. Giving you an example of the product passport, I can show you here. Once you scan the QR code, this is how a product passport would look like on public devices. So anyone could scan the QR code and they will land on this page that has the public information of that carpet with all the technical details that's required. Behind the scenes, for an admin who manages this system end-to-end, day-to-day with the applications, what we've set up is for the Carpet Institute admin dashboard, similar to what you see in the licensee's design, but let me just bring that in here. This is what an admin dashboard would look like. And then what would they see is they'll have all the applications that has come through for review and any applications that's there for grading for their next meeting. The admins will also be able to manage users from that system and also the companies assigned to them. Also, the ACCS system, like Paul said, has the carpet index, which is run through a subscription system with a payment gateway linked to it so that the licensees can pay within the platform and the subscription is automated and it'll automatically renew. And the admins, again, have access to this and they'll be able to manage the subscriptions from the admin dashboard.
Just to come back to our diagram, and a couple of things that I did mention earlier was that the system has a payment capability, and Harsh mentioned subscriptions there, so users are able to pay through the system, and that integrates into the accounting system for the Institute, which saves quite a bit of admin time in relation to that also. The system also has the capability where licensees are able to sort of go in and do some modelling as well of for potential products, and that can be helpful for them and their product development sort of cycle. There's a few things that we then can see looking into the future with the system is one of the things that we have planned is an AI connection. We've already built an AI prototype that links into the National Construction Code, which has over 2,000 pages worth of information. And we have an AI system that's able to interrogate that information and provide communication with users through text and voice. And one of the plans on the drawing board is to integrate that AI capability into the overall platform, so that it allows for will allow for research for licensees, retailers, and specifiers of the NCC, but certainly also information in relation to the ACCS and the ECS as well. Probably a bit further out is we've had some discussions about also keeping data about actual installations of product as well, and having much more historical information about where products are being implemented. And this potentially may help with future product issues that come along, where we know which version of a product might have been installed in a particular place. We see the system, although it's been designed for carpets specifically, for the carpet industry specifically, the system has the capability of being generalized for other industry platforms. So we would see that the same sort of processes could be applied in other industries. And what would need to happen is that there would be just different databases for the different industries. You can see from what Harsh was showing, that there was quite a lot of complexity of information that was very specific to carpets, but the same sort of system can be set up for other industries. And then you have the potential for multiple panels for different industries that can use the system. So whilst it's been built specifically for the carpet industry, there is certainly a capability for the systems and the processes that the carpet industry have established over a long period of time to be applied to other industries, or where those industries have well-established processes, the system can be applied to other processes.
So this development has been very, very, very important to the flooring sector. So the Carpet Institute influences not just carpet, but also resilient flooring and underlay and adhesives and acoustic panels and artificial turf. And anyone involved in the built environment will know that the National Construction Code and the Australian Building Codes Board and the Green Building Council are pushing for transparency of information, pushing for end-of-life information by product, unique product identifiers. And I think what Web Intelligenz has created for the flooring sector has put us at the forefront of responding to the needs of the National Construction Code, the Australian Building Codes Board, and the GBCA. I'd happily help any sector understand what we've done better to utilize the services of these very capable people at Web Intelligenz. The world is changing with the National Construction Code and the ACCS and GBCA, and it's important that all of us get behind what they're looking for. But I just want to say it's changed our business. It's changed our relationship with our members and our licensees, and it's very much changing our relationship with the National Construction Code and the ABCB and the GBCA. So it's been very, very positive for us. It has absolutely future-proofed our business and cemented our role in the built environment. So we couldn't be more happy. Our directors and our board are extremely happy with what's happened. And the best response to go is to say, well, the number of companies using, the number of users using is growing every week and every month.